chat, Twitch chat. It's
Oh, the
always
chat.
Twitch.
Hello.
The Twitch chat.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
We're
Hello.
here.
Oh,
We're
we're
alive.
live.
We
Oh.
exist.
Hello.
Welcome.
real.
What? I don't exist.
I'll fix it.
It's okay. It's okay. Wait, it's because I don't have my stuff up because I had to restart my computer. Hold on, it's my fault.
Well, that is a
Become
problem.
the sign.
That's
New
crazy.
year, new scuff, baby. Let's go.
Oh, but the stuff surrounding the scuff is beautiful. Look at it.
Yeah, look at that.
Exactly.
Look at the new layout
Look at the particles and all that movement.
made by the lovely Nate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nate.
You want to talk a little bit about it while I figured this shit out?
Sure. I thought that we had a darker theme and grim dark and stuff like that, so wanted to make it a little bit pretty and put some particle effects and stuff like that. New year, new layout.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really
Heck
cool.
yeah.
It looks great.
And it'll get updated gradually as we keep going.
Yeah, that's one thing that we like about having Nate do all of the production stuff is that he just gets all sorts of ideas and just decides to implement them, and it's fine because whatever he does is absolutely gorgeous. He's got a really good intuition for this kind of thing. So thank you so much, man. Happy New Year, everybody.
Juzo, how did you become such a little guy?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, it's hard to explain. Magic,
Magic. Nice.
magic. I guess
You are a little guy.
yeah.
I just feel like we're not
I'm also a little
matching
see-through.
vibes, you know?
Okay. All right, we should be good. I'm gonna mirror this and we're good to go. All right, sweet. That should work.
We should be working.
Should work. If we need to do this, I'll do this too here. Boom.
Boom.
Anyway, guys, thank you for making it to our 23rd session of Shadows over Velda. We had a pretty long hiatus where we all got a really good nap in.
Yeah.
We drank some hot chocolate, I'm sure, or you know, lovely warm holiday beverages. We reflected. We traveled.
True.
We saw our loved ones and engaged in polite apolitical conversation. It was great. I'm sure it was fantastic. But we're gonna go around. We usually start our wait. I'm behind.
Oh.
Gotcha. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
But we're gonna go around to each of our wonderful players, and we usually ask an icebreaker question. It's the winter holidays, so icebreakers is very on brand. But question that I have for each of you in character that reveals a little bit more about your character without giving the whole plot away. What would you get each other for the holidays? A gift to show that you care about each other. Who would you get a gift for in the campaign across, you know, whatever? It doesn't have to be limited to another player, but what would you get? How would you present it? And yeah, go ahead. We'll go down. So we'll go from the bottom. So we'll start with Leju. What would Phoenix get somebody for the holidays?
Oh my god. I think Phoenix. I think he's like still trying to get like a kind of a read on people, for the most part. But he'll, you know, I think if there was like a gift exchange, he'd probably still, you know, participate. And this is gonna be fantastic. For our Gentum, Phoenix will probably get some nice, interesting looking book from the bookstore. For the wall, probably something related to the animal care, maybe like a brush or something. I don't know. For
Okay.
the horse. For Sunder, probably some new like hand wraps or something. And then for Zephyriel, who seems to have some nice hair, like a hair coupon.
Hair coupon.
Hair coupon.
To go to the hair place and then keep the hair going.
For brand new hair, a coupon.
A coupon for
Okay.
the brand new hair.
I'm sure he'd love a hair coupon.
Zephyr
The
will
hair
take
coupon.
so much offense to that gift.
What do you mean?
So much offense.
Take.
So much
What do
offense.
don't be on the fence. Go to the coupon house instead.
What's wrong with my hair?
Nothing.
For now.
I don't need help with it.
But it's free.
But it's free.
But it's free. Kind of have to take it.
I would take it angrily then.
We love free. Save you the money. Ah,
Okay. So a fantastic bevy of beautiful gifts for our cadre of adventurers from Phoenix himself. All right, let's go up. And Sunder, what would you get everybody for the holidays? The Feast of Winter's
boy.
Breast. What would you get them? I just made that up, but
Oh boy. Huh. A really cool rock I found.
okay.
let's go.
And everybody rocks. Like this one's smooth. This one's got texture. This one's a silly color. Look at that.
It's a goblin.
But no.
Silly color.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, everybody gets a rock. Way to go.
Everybody gets a really cool
Fantastic.
rock.
Placing the rock in the festive Feast of Winter's Breast cornucopia.
Hell yeah.
All right. Going on up, Argentum, what would you get everybody? One person, several people? What would you get them for the holidays? A wonderful gift to show you care. You have a warm heart in these cold times.
Let's see. I think Argentum would probably get Zephyriel like a new custom-made blindfold, like something that has
Oh.
like maybe like embroidery on it that like represents Ray in their mind, but something that's like high quality and comfortable in case they need a second one. For Sunder, well, they know that they have the brass knuckles, and so they would probably try to find them like a similar weapon to that, or try to like find something that they could like attach to their tail to use as well in combat, most likely.
I have a blade on my tail now. Fuck
Tie
yeah.
a knife
Yeah,
to your
man.
tail, yeah.
Yeah, tail knife, man. For the wall,
The wall has everything he needs.
Yeah, what could you get the man?
the thing
He's a
is,
he's so
I think
complete.
Argentum would like try to find like whatever town they were in, they would probably try to find like the best tavern or like the best place you could get like a really good hot meal, and just absolutely splurge and be like, get whatever you want on the menu, like feast, like whatever
Aw.
food you want, because the wall is such a foodie. So Argenta would probably try to get them like a good meal of their like choosing or something. For Phoenix is the tough one because he's so elusive, but
For now.
What do you mean? I've shared
For
so much
now.
about myself.
it would probably be like Argentum would I feel like it wouldn't be a physical gift for Phoenix. It would be organizing some kind of experience for them. Like take some time to like, I don't know, pay attention. It's like what does he kind of do in his downtime when we're not running around trying to deal with this fuck ass god? And just like take him out to do something that interests him, or fucking take him to like a shooting range or something and be like, all right, show me what you got. Just some like a fun activity, I think, is what Argentum would try to organize for Phoenix.
Nice little fun little brain tickler.
And
Let's
they
go.
would get a bunch of cheese for whimsy.
There you go.
Some cheese.
The
Yeah,
best-
you
the
think I
best
forgot the
cheese.
rat?
A little bit of
Nah,
fam.
Nah, everybody forgets the rat. Even he forgets the rat sometimes.
I don't.
Argentum don't. Fantastic.
Argenta
Everything
don't.
taken care of. The list has been checked off. Way to go. That's fantastic. And-
Caretaker Argentum. And then
Aw,
nothing for them. They
Aw.
cry. Just a bucket for their tears.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Moving up. Let's see. Grizz, what would Ray get
Yeah.
everybody for holiday season time? Feast
No
of Winter's
problem.
Breast?
So can we assume that I can afford all of these things?
Yes.
Okay. For Phoenix, Ray would get an enchanted black scarf that sort of wisps into shadow at the end of it. It kind of like magically animates, like it's always kind of blowing in the wind.
That is so
And it would
metal.
allow Phoenix
Extra.
to, I think, either go invisible or like at will, or like fly or something to get better vantage points.
Just allow me to farm
That's it,
aura.
dude.
Uh,
Farm
for
aura?
yeah, basically farm aura. For Argentum, Ray, and this is, these are gifts to show that Ray cares about them. If he does, Ray would get a enchanted quill that would allow them to write on anything, maybe even the air, anywhere that they wanted. Enchanted quill, probably maybe a little gold engraved on it. For Juzo, for Sunder, sorry, I was reading the name. For Sunder, they'd probably get them like bracers enchanted for protection,
Ooh, okay.
to allow him to take more damage in the fights,
Yeah,
get
keep
beat
his
up a
hands
little
up.
bit more, and also beat people a lot more.
I love getting punched.
And for Wall, I did Google gifts to get a horse girl, but nothing was like nothing was inspiring me. So
Wall
probably
is the
just
resident
like
horse girl.
probably like a magic enchanted whistle that would allow Wall to call Penelope from wherever, and Penelope to like arrive from wherever if
That's great.
possible. Be a crazy magic item, but
What a handy item to have.
yeah.
All right. Fantastic gifts. Everybody accounted for. And again, such thought. Fantastic. And I think everybody loves their gifts.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we have Ben the Wall. What would the Wall get everybody for Feast of Holiday Mirth?
So the wall would probably go out hunting and
Okay.
get some exquisite pelts and stuff for the gang, and
Oh,
some
that's smart.
fine meats. And he would probably also just buy a shitload of fancy liquor and fine wines to share with everybody, and he would just throw the gang a feast where everyone can just enjoy fine spirits, fine meats, all in
Get
the
a-
under the comfort of a bearskin blanket.
Skin. Bearskin skin.
Bearskin skin.
So good.
This just inspired me. I know Wall better than to get him a whistle. I think, could we hire a bard to sing Wall like a bunch of songs for an entire night during this food celebration?
Oh, you would love
Oh, fuck yeah.
that.
You go in on the gift, it's like, I've rented out this whole tavern, get whatever you want. Ray
Oh,
Ray hooked
yeah.
up with the bard. Not hooked up with the bard, but you know what?
Yeah,
Hooked
yeah,
up
you know,
The bard,
but,
yeah.
you
know,
up with the bard, yeah.
yeah.
I did no such thing.
You should try it. It's a good time.
Oh Lord. Oh man, this is such a great little picture in my head of you guys all together and maybe everybody smiling in front of a fire. It's fantastic.
Smiling.
Happy holidays,
Enjoying
guys.
some-
Thanks
enjoying
for
some
thanks
bear
for-
Happy
meat.
holidays.
Bear meat, beautiful.
Some
Yeah.
bearskin skin.
Bear meat is actually pretty delicious, so
Hey, you gotta cook it right though.
yeah.
Yes, it is quite good. Anyway, so with that out of the way, we are in a new year, and
That's
slowly
crazy.
approaching. February 8th, brought to the attention of the group by Leju. February 8th is our anniversary, is the year cycle of us playing Shadows over Velda for a year. And it seemed to have timed out that we had a session about every 2 weeks, which was, what I expected. So perfect. Way to go. We're thankful for you guys being here. Viewers, thank you for your patience. I know we're a little bit late, but that's okay. We're still going to have a game. And we stopped off at a very interesting place midway between the Temple of Ilmater, where you guys picked up your group of your little group of drow tagalongs, led by Alandra. You guys came to a pretty dense, tall, cedar coniferous forest that you had to push through, and you noticed there was a path as you guys were dragging the wall along in the cart, you noticed there was a path that kind of fell in and blanketed itself with snow, and the cart was it was easy to find the tracks, and you guys went down through this clearing in the woods, and you came to a place that Alondra told you was the lowest road. This is a to and from point for the Underdark from the surface. It's not necessarily located under a temple or at the bottom of a tavern or in a back room somewhere. This is a formal highway to and from the Underdark, but it had been recently disturbed by the drow that you guys were chasing. The male drow that you had been chasing. You had actually followed his footsteps here too, to get here, but it had since been closed, recently opened. There were a couple of buildings too that you guys had explored. This place had been ruined for years, hundreds of years, and there were some interesting things, points of intrigue in both buildings. One building looked like it had been the site of a small fight, like a little skirmish between the drow and the dwarves that had used this place to bring ore from the Underdark to dwarven cities and, sundry's various topside to the Underdark in sort of like a trade exchange. Um, but it looked like things went sour, and you had found crossbow bolts, or Argentum through their sleuthing had found crossbow bolts. And you want to tell us a little bit more about those, Argentum? What you guys found in that building?
Sure. So when we entered the building, I think Ray found like a locket or a pendant of some kind that was also had like magical energy coming off of it.
All right, thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, got you, boo.
It's been a bit.
And like to note on that with Ray, they did I think like a divine sense, and there was like necrotic energy in the area. There was like traces of necrotic magic. And when we came across Alondra, she showed them the crossbow bolt, and it had the name Doerden on it. And we surmised that it could have either been Dritz Doerden, the famed drow, or possibly we came up with a couple theories. It was either someone trying to frame him and like sully his name, or it was Dritz himself, or possibly House Doerden.
Yeah, someone from House
because Dritz from stories didn't seem the type to, slaughter a bunch of dwarves.
Yeah, right.
Not really his MO from what we understand about him. But yeah, that's the crossbow bolt stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you did find that amulet. And you also found a cloak that was very I guess very strange for it to be here, but Alondra tossed it over to you and demanded an explanation for why, Argentum.
God, getting into the weeds here. So when Alondra mentioned that it was a cloak of a faction called the Dreaming Dark, which is a group that essentially exists to wipe out Kalishtar and to what's the words I'm looking for? Give the Quarry more control over things. But usually Quarry are evil aligned, to use rough aligned,
right.
But the Kalishtar are not. So they are very much opposed to them. And it had on the cloak, there was the same symbol as the one on the sheaf of parchment that Dakota had given to Argentum, the eye symbol with the feathers surrounding it. And in some pretty fucking good history checks, both Ray and Argentum realized what this was. And Argentum realize this was probably deeply connected to what happened to their people. And oh gosh,
They're called the Dream Blades, or the
yeah.
Stealers of
So
Memories.
they used a mind blade potentially to sever Vivacri from Argentum.
Right.
And this is information that Elandra pulled out of Argentum after some conversation. It was
Yes.
tense. Ugh. It
I
was
watched
very
VOD, it
much
was
a
very fun.
trading of information. It was so good.
But shortly after that, across the way, Wingus, Dingus, and Tringus, were involved in some other shenanigans. They had stumbled. You guys had stumbled upon what seemed to be some sort of loose barracks, or just a place for the dwarves who are usually underground or in a mountain, dwelling or trying to set up shop and maintain this mine or highway that they had built a couple hundred years ago. And what did you guys find in there? I know Juzo found, or Sunder found a few really cool things. They're here.
Second?
What about? Yeah,
Wait,
Sunder. What did
Sunder's
you
playing
find
Marvel
in the?
Rivals right now.
What did you?
Imagine.
Sunder is
Imagine.
playing
What
Marvel
did you? What did you find in the dwarven barracks? You found
Oh,
some
boy.
after some really good strength checks and then some other skill checks. You were able to get pretty much everything out of that chest.
Yeah, it was me and Phoenix. We had found a pair of gloves that makes things lighter when carrying. We found a like what seemed like a magical pickaxe. There was a lantern that we found that I think it was like it's like a dark vision lantern. It illuminates
Yeah.
Yeah.
further in the dark. What else? I think that was about it. I think that was about all we picked up, other than the mirror.
Yeah. You got the lantern, the pickaxe, and then the gloves of making lighting, make lightering. The
Make
weight of whatever you
lightering,
pick up,
yeah.
the weight of whatever you pick up is halved, which I thought was pretty cool. But there was also another fun little thing that you were talking about sticking your head in something last session. What happened there?
Oh yeah. From what I remember, Sunder stuck his head in the mirror that was in the room and was surprised to see mass amounts of platinum ore, gold, silver, which we assume is a dragon's hoard because there was a lot of noise back there as well, a lot of thuds, a lot of thumping. So I assumed it was a dragon horde.
And we had Ray go in and grab a few things, feel around and grab a few things. You stuck your head in, and then after a period of time, after a certain amount of stuff being screwed around with, you guys grabbed your shovel back. You got that shovel too, right?
True. Oh yeah, the shovel that we lost in the
Nice.
portal
Yeah.
for a little bit. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
importantly, we got the shovel back.
You grabbed the shovel back, and before you could get snapped on by whatever was back there, you couldn't get too good of a look at it, but it had teeth, it had scales, it was very big, and it was running right at the hole. You got to the other side of it, and all you felt was a thud. After some info dumping, some light conversation, once Argentum had joined you guys, you resolved to pry the mirror from the wall, which took a nat 20 to work, and you did it. And you now have this two-way mirror swaddled in burlap in the cart with the wall. Then you guys walked out into the small little quad area between these two buildings and the actual stone that functioned as a doorway to this highway that had been shut. Elandra was beside herself, trying to figure out this riddle that that was airtight. You know, it was a very difficult riddle, clearly. But
Mhm.
as Alondra read it out loud, in wildly in character, Argentum instantly knew the answer, opened it
Amazing.
up, and that I was beside myself. That was amazing. That was
The
so cool.
greatest moment in my
Yeah, right?
D&D career. I will never top that, man.
And it wasn't like a gimme either. It was like, you know,
It
you had to think
wasn't!
about it for a second, but
I just
you
locked
knew
in.
exactly. Yeah, right. You locked the fuck in. But the answer was the you want
It was
Yeah?
the Shadowfell.
the Shadowfell. The answer was the Shadowfell.
I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, it's the Shadowfell.
The door opened.
Like-
Everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
That is the most in character I've ever been in my fucking life, man.
And because of that, you gave the Drow followers a choice. Either they were either, this is the second time that they had the choice to either go and retreat back into the Underdark and be assimilated back into that society, or come with you. And I vividly remember one of the best character moments I think we've had in the campaign so far is Ray convincing Elandra to give it a chance. Do you remember what happened?
Couldn't tell you what I said, but I basically used a thaumaturgy to control the flames, and then had them like act as webs that connected all of us, and gave a bit of a metaphorical speech, I guess, that compared compared the following the old faith to the new faith, and just the difference of I actually don't remember. But
You're right. You made through various use of metaphor and literary comparisons and comparisons to truth and how the traditional Drow look at the world versus how the Drow of the surface look at the world, and you got a nat 20, I think, too, right? Or you got a very high roll. It's like a 25 or something like that.
yeah, I mean, it says 21 on in the history, so
21.
I'm assuming that's it.
That's what it was, yeah. So, yeah, you convinced her to stay with you guys, to stay with you specifically, Ray, to learn a bit. She had asked if you were telling the truth, basically, and yeah, it was quite a sight. I would highly recommend going back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say, I think it was mostly looking at I was trying to tell her that she didn't need to unlearn everything that she had been taught, rather that it could be used in a new
Right.
way.
We're thinking of it in a different way, right? It's fantastic, and that is where we ended the night, literally and figuratively, because you guys are going to be taking watch as we start this game. Did we roll for that yet? Or did
We
were
said
gonna
it
stay
was Sunder, Phoenix, and then Ray wanted to speak to Argentum, so they were going to take third watch, and then Ray's like, the wall can take last watch. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
give
He's
me a
like,
second.
oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I have that at the bottom of my notes here. Sunder, Phoenix, Ray, Wall. Okay, cool. So the sun looks to be about like 7:30. The sun has gone beyond the horizon, but you still get that soft red glow, the rays of light poking through the trees and landing on the small fire that Alondra had made, survivalist that she is, for the party. There's some limited shelter on the inside. She's pulled out a bed, decrepit and you know, rotting. But you all can find places to sleep. These buildings are relatively close to each other. The whole area isn't more than 1,000 feet square, and we will begin with Sunder taking first watch as you kind of sit by the fireside. It is still pretty bitterly cold, especially as the sun goes down. The wind has been very forgiving in the last few hours, so it's very still. It isn't snowing, but snow is falling from the trees over top of you. Would you make a perception check?
I can. Perception. Where is it? There it is. That's a 7.
It's dark. It's cold. You've kind of been focused on staying warm, and the gnawing growl in your stomach is pretty hard to ignore. But you don't really see anything immediately around you, aside from occasional gust of wind. You hear the crackle of a fire, and every now and again you'll hear Lester squawk, ruffle his feathers, and preen himself. But it's a pretty uneventful few hours for you. You can go wake up Phoenix, or you can go longer if you want.
I think I'll go wake up Phoenix if there's not really anything going on right now.
Yeah, no, nothing. You didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
Good morning, sunshine.
It's not morning yet.
Close enough.
Nothing happened? We're good.
No, everything seemed about fine. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Good. Hope my luck's just as good.
Here's to hoping. I would assume it's going to be a pretty easy night. I would assume.
Don't count them before they hatch.
All
All right, I will take my watch.
Okay,
Alright.
cool.
Perception.
You settle over by the fire. Take
Yeah.
a seat. Roll a perception check.
I rolled it twice by accident. Take the first one.
Right? You got 21. Okay, cool,
21.
cool. The first hour or so, 90 minutes pass by, and it's the same thing, you know. Every now and again, a flake or two of snow falling. You get the ruffle of Lester's feathers. You hear the girls in the corner with Alandra tossing and turning in their sleep. She doesn't seem to be sleeping very well. She's just rolling around, biting her lip, or wrestling with herself in the dark. And you hear, in the stillness and the silence of the deep night, what sound like very heavy bat wings about 700 feet into the forest. And then it happens one more time. And then you hear scratching at bark.
Is it like, does it sound big?
It sounds like it is whatever is there is like you ever see like a fox bat? They're like
Yeah.
the size of small dogs. It's like that.
Right. But I can't see what it is.
Not from here. You can hear it. It's not even obscured by the darkness. It's obscured by like layer upon layer of cedar tree.
Right. How deep am I into this, into the watch, would you say, like, roughly?
You're 90 minutes in, so you got like another 90 minutes.
Great. I guess I'll just, we'll keep watch. I'll be a little bit more alert.
There's a bear.
There's a bear.
And by the end of your watch, you hear that happen. You hear those wings, that sound, another 2 or 3 times before, and it sounds like it's getting very slowly. It's getting closer and higher. And then by the end of your watch, as you take a deep inhale, just to kind of like, all right, you slap your knees and you get up and get ready to go.
Well, name my problem.
You smell something off, like long rotten meat on a quick gust of wind.
Take some shit
then
in
it-
these woods.
Fades away.
All right, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go ahead. And, I'll go wake up. What is it? Argentum and Zeph wanted to be watching together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently.
I'll knock him open. All right, kiddos.
Knock him open.
90% sure I'm older than you, darling, but yes.
Yeah, but you're the ones up all night gossiping, and not me.
Yes, much gossip.
Heard something
Okay.
flying.
Anything of note?
Heard something flying up in the woods. Kind of not so close, but you know, might be approaching. Who knows? Wake me up if anything happens.
Who
Could be just
knows?
Could be just like a fox.
It could just be creatures in the night. We are in a vast forest.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Sleep tight.
I'm honk shoeing.
All right. Okay, cool. Sleep well. Ray and Argentum.
Wow,
you
dude.
wake
Okay.
you wake up and as soon as you open your eyes, the trees are there. Even through the whatever building you are in, you can still see the soft sway of the tall cedar trees. These pretty immense, like purple barked trees in the moonlight. You hear the creak of branches and the wood beneath your feet as you walk out into and around the circle of stones that Elandra has built for you guys. Toss another log on the fire and begin your watch.
Did Phoenix point to a direction or anything, or kind of hint to how far it might be?
Yeah,
away?
I would have pointed in the general direction.
Not that I can see it, but
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't have said. I just would have pointed. So only our Argentum would know.
How rude!
did he point at all? Somewhere?
Argentum will, whether it's like northeast, southwest, whatever, like way from where we are. Do you mind if I show you? Is that okay?
We should inspect it. Yeah.
Argentum will like lightly take Ray's hand and like kind of guide their arm up in like the direction to like point with his arm in the direction.
Sure, yeah, you feel your arm crest at about a 45-degree angle off into the cedar thicket behind the what would be where you guys found the crossbow and the dead drow and the dead dwarves.
Gonna divine sense just in case. Start sniffing it out. If
You
it's a
betcha.
Divine sniff.
How
celestial
far
or
away?
undead.
How far does divine sense work?
About 60 feet. I'll probably pop it when it feels like we're close, or if it sounds close. You know what I mean?
Do you guys decide? Do you roll your perception checks? We should have you do that first.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it. Dookie.
10. Okay.
Sniffing it.
Just
I actually
17.
rolled it
With
with
advantage.
yeah, so 14.
14. Okay, cool. Between the two of you, after about 15 minutes of assessing your surroundings, yeah, it's 5 to 6 minutes of sitting in silence waiting for something to happen is a long time, and it feels that way. But just as you guys start to be like, this everything is fine, you hear it. You hear what sound like chitinous or horns or something hitting against wood, and there's something there. Do you use divine sense?
Yeah, within 60 feet of the sound.
Yeah, it's fiendish.
Oh, what? Where the fuck? Okay, I have a point.
Okay, it is
Steam
it's about 70 feet above you guys. There is a ping, a pulse, a reverberance as soon as you send out this wave of energy, and it comes back to you. It's pretty high up. It's about 45 degrees from where you are, and it keeps hopping on one branch, back and forth. The mass of fiendish energy that you're focusing on through your blindfold, through the darkness, through everything, through these cedar trees, through the walls, through the night, is about the size of a husky. It's about the size of a large dog as it.
I relay all that to Argentum quietly. Can you see it without drawing its attention?
Argentum's gonna pop a mind link with Ray just for sake of so we don't verbally get its attention.
Okay.
Can I see anything?
Oh,
I do not
okay.
have dark vision. I
don't
have,
have dark
I have
vision. You can
human
see
people vision.
every now and again. There's a little bit of a clearing where the branches, like the moonlight, is starting to poke through these branches. You can see the silhouette of this creature. Let me get a picture of it so I know what I'm describing here. This creature is humanoid in its form. It has a tail, a relatively long tail for how small it is, and it looks near the end. It's segmented. The tail itself is segmented, and near the end, it looks like there's a scorpion stinger, or something sharp attached to the tail itself. The wings are leathern. They are meaty and wide and frayed, and the way this thing is moving back and forth on the tree branch in the shadow of the pale moonlight is drunk. It looks sick. It doesn't look like it's hunting. It looks like it's afraid.
Oh, like it might be running from something else?
Yeah, maybe something like that, yeah.
Don't like the way you said that.
Argentum would relay all of this mentally to Zephyriel.
I do not think it is hunting us.
But hiding from something else?
I think so, yes.
Should we wake them all and move? Everyone should be arrested by now. Wall started his arrest much earlier.
That is probably for the best. But we'll move to where?
On our way, I guess, to the castle.
Get a little further out. It's not a bad idea.
If I've already gotten a long rest. DM, is that how it works?
Yeah, I think so.
Or
You don't
would
have to
I
go
be
back to
sleeping
sleep.
again during Wall's arrest?
I think it's like
Oh no, no, you'd be sleeping again.
Yeah.
This is the time up.
Damn. Well, if we move now, I won't be exactly recharged.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm going to, if I use something that is 60 feet of, like it has to hear me within 60 feet, would it work, like a spell that has 60-foot range? But I'm just speaking.
Say that again?
If I target it with a spell that has 60-foot range, would it hit? It's just a verbal thing.
Yeah. If you have to roll to hit, it's
No roll to hit.
Okay, yeah, then it would hit.
Okay. I'm going to use command on it,
Okay.
and in Abyssal, just tell it to flee with the one word if it
Okay.
fails the save.
All right. What's the save?
Wisdom save.
What's the save? All right. Got +1.
Kind of
I
force
believe
it
in you.
to bring attention to itself again by whatever it's running from, maybe.
16. Does that fail?
No, it passes by 1.
Okay. At that, you see Argentum. It turn around. It heard something. Something in a language it doesn't understand.
Ooh.
it hops to a lower branch. 10 feet closer.
Oh, no.
It It sounds about maybe 40 feet away from you guys.
Your turn. I'm out of ideas.
Clearly. I could turn us invisible. I do have a charge of that left.
It looks agitated.
Yes, I'm going to do so. I'm going to spend a narrative twist because I've since had a short rest, so I have those back. I'm going to spend a narrative twist and to cast Be Still and Silent.
Okay.
So that I can turn Ray and I invisible. And after they've done so, they'll say to Ray through the mind link, just,
If you cast any spells or do anything that, well, might generally break the spell of invisibility, it will see us. So, please keep the fighting to a minimum for now.
As you say that, to the mind link, right as you finish that sentence, it pierces through the darkness. Almost silently. You didn't hear it leap from a branch. You were casting a spell, talking to your friend. And it doesn't land. It tumbles and rolls over itself, drunkenly standing up right next to the fire. And you see this hideous, tiny little fiend, this little demonic red-skinned and black-pocked imp, as it stutters back and forth in the cold, looking around before throwing himself into the fire and rolling around.
What the fuck is happening?
Immense relief is coming over this creature.
Oh, I have to wake up Wall. I'm sorry, I gotta do it.
Yeah, no, go get him, yes.
All right, he'll know what to do. Wall. Shake you. You just get shaken awake, but we're invisible, so you don't even like see us. You just like wake up and see this imp bathing in the flames.
What is that thing? What is that thing? What is happening?
Well, help. I don't know what that is either.
I think we should kill it.
Be my guest.
All right, I'm gonna equip my my glaive and start
Okay.
to approach the imp that's bathing
Yeah.
in the fire.
This thing is having a blast. It is euphoric, and it's raking the coals over its own chest and rubbing them in, rubbing it into its armpits, and flexing its wings into the shadows of the flames that rise. What do you do?
You know when like you got like a raccoon on your porch and you're gonna chase it away with like a broom and
Oh
you
my
like
God.
swat at it with the broom? So I'm just Wall's gonna slam his glaive right in front of him, just be like, go away! Shoo, get out!
You see this thing begin to sober up and stare at you with these creamy white eyes that have no pupils. It stands up in the fire and looks at you as the flames lick over its own body. And it starts to barely fly itself into the canopy as it trails coal and flames away from itself up into the cold night air. It perches back on one of the cedar branches, scratches itself some of the burns away, and then just hops from branch to branch as though it is safe from the cold for a little bit longer. Good job. There's coals everywhere.
Yeah, Wall's gonna like kick them back into like the fire pit, like cleaning up the mess that this thing left.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. You use a glaive in your own hands to kind of make the fire whole again, and yeah. Good job. Way to go. Didn't need to kill it.
What direction did it seem to have flown in from? If we can gather, anyone can guess. Like, would it be the direction we're going?
Yes, it's the direction you were going in. You couldn't really tell exactly where it came from, but like somewhere in the, I guess, northeastern quadrant. So it's in the area, but just on the edge of where you guys are going to be going.
I have my guesses that that thing is probably one of the things fighting at the castle we're going to.
If it's
Is it like a scout of some kind?
Looks more like an injured soldier. If I assume. By its staggering flight pattern.
Yes, and if it was trying to heal itself within the flames, that would make sense. It being a scout is not a bad theory, though.
I don't know, it sounded too injured to be a scout. And way too loud.
It seemed almost drunk.
It is a bad scout then.
Clearly.
The wall.
Well, good morning. It feels like a month since I talked to you last. You slept so long.
Yes, I had a very vivid dream. Yeah, but it is of no bearing to us. I am here now, and I could take the next watch if you wish to go back to sleep.
We can finish our watch if you wish.
Oh, okay
Yeah,
then.
a little
I will
time.
return to sleep then.
Sleep well, darling.
Thanks.
And Wall just goes back to sleep.
Very nice.
Amimir.
My goat, truly. Things up around, just kind of like sits down after all that. Still pretty tired.
Yeah, our gentleman will sit down next to them. Oh. Had a feeling it would be eventful, but I can admit an imp rolling in our campfire was not exactly what I expected.
You say that out loud, or
Mm-hmm.
is that where Al responds mentally? It just means it's likely fleeing from something a lot more dangerous.
I have a feeling what we are heading to is catastrophic.
Are you scared?
Of what lies at the castle? No. Well, yes, I would be a fool not to be afraid of pit fiends, but certainly is not what I fear most. Are you?
I was more so curious if you were just scared in general.
Of course I am. Especially now. Most of the things that I have been running from have caught up with me. Things I didn't even know I was running from are on my doorstep. So, of course I am afraid.
How long have you been running?
Since I was 6 years old. So, more than
By
20
yourself?
years.
Did you say 43 years?
No, more than 20. I am 28, if my count is correct. But I was
Have you been alone
adopted.
that whole time?
Yeah, sort of. I was adopted when I was,
They'll just count on their fingers.
9, about.
By the
and,
Kalishtar?
Mm-mm. I was born to the Kalishtar. My mother and father. I was born in the Lunar Peaks, on the other side of the Stone Curtain. And when I was 6, I lost everything.
Surely not everything.
Everything but for Valkyrie, yes. And now I've lost him too, so...
The one that was in your head before. How do you say it?
Vavakari. He was...
Wow, the wolves out here are very vocal tonight.
He was the quarry soul who was bound to me.
I'm a little bit different from my brethren.
Most Kalishtar of my generation cannot hear the quarry soul. Normally it is a piece of one of your parents' soul is merged with you. So for me, it should, in all accounts, have been my mother's soul. But instead I got Vavakri. And like the, well, original Kalishtar, I could hear him. And from the moment I was born, he was with me. From the moment I could speak and understand language, he was there.
I had, if memory serves, I had friends, other Kalishtar children, but after the black tide rolled through,
It was he and I.
The Black Tide.
it's always how I've remembered it. But sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you all of this.
Because I'm asking. That's the Dreaming Dark then.
I assume so. I don't know why I was the only one. I was out gathering herbs for my mother, and I heard screaming. And on my way back to our settlement, I was enveloped in darkness. Something stopped me and told me to stay quiet, to not move, stay hidden. If I stayed still, nothing would happen. But I heard everything. The screams. My parents calling for me. And then nothing. When I went back, when I found my way home, everyone was gone. fires were still lit. Cook pot boiling over. My mother's herbal garden. Undisturbed.
When you went back, you mean when you weren't in the darkness anymore?
Mm-hmm. After it dissipated, I did not hear a voice from it again. And I tried to find my way down the mountain. I survived a few days on my own.
So, this is the first time you've ever been alone with your thoughts, then?
Yeah. And I hate it. I mean, I can think usually with Favakri, I can think things, and he will not hear them. You know, I can have my own mind, but most of the time it is the two of us.
Interesting.
It's a symbiotic relationship. It's... You know, the best way I can describe it, the feeling, is, you know, someone says something, or when you are with a person who just makes you feel warm just by the very presence, or they say something that just... It is strange, but it feels like an internal hug. I do not know how else to describe it. But now it feels... Well, it...
Cold.
Cold. And...
Lonely.
Like when grief is all you know. That emotional emptiness of grief, where it just feels like there is a black hole within you. It is that, but physical. I feel empty. Wrong.
And I guess you can't be truly empty if you're still feeling it.
Yeah.
You still get frustrated and sad.
Yeah. It's the one loss that I never thought I would experience. I didn't think it was possible.
You have confirmation that he's in limbo now.
Mm-hmm. I've heard him. I meditated back in, after we docked our ship. I meditated, and I could make out a few words from him. But normally when he has something to say, and often he does, or did, it would feel like sort of a scratching behind my eye, a little tickle. But when he was trying to reach out, it felt like a claw just digging into the back of my eye. And I could tell he was desperately trying to make it back to me. But it means he's alive.
And you've not truly lost him.
Yes, but I do not know how to get to limbo.
That feeling is kind of how it feels when I look at something super bright.
Yeah.
sure we'll make our way there eventually. At least he's alive. Keep thinking about that.
I do. It is the one thing keeping me moving.
This might, I haven't felt that kind of warmth in a long time. Like how you described.
I'm sorry about that. I'm assuming that sort of connection is not common within the church.
Not really. I was being raised like a son. Every day was, like school. Kinda. It's a lot. The last time that I felt like that, maybe when I was around Esme. Alright. Brian. The celestial planes are quite warm, you know. Like in the eternal spring. Not quite as hot as the summer. It's all very distant now, though. It's sure a lot like Ezra.
Yeah.
I started to notice. Yep.
How so? Because it's funny. I've been thinking the same thing. You remind me a lot of a Valkyrie. Tell me about him. About Ezra.
Well, I haven't been able to stop thinking about them since Brian said that they died. Which is odd, because I hadn't thought about them in many years. Neither of them. Just so focused. So focused on overcoming this blindness. Maybe not overcoming, but learning to live with it again. Learning the old faith in all its cruelty. And then turning that into the new faith now and the purpose they want me to walk. When Brian said that they were dead, it's been hard to get what I remember of their face out of my mind. It's odd, I only really remember their nose. They had like a line of freckles from cheekbone to cheekbone. They were very clever, different to Brian's and I. So very intelligent. Had a sense of humor. Quite pushy. And a massive crybaby. My God. Very easy to tease often. But they were so definitely good. I feel I am grieving what the world would be if they were still in it. I don't know who Brian has become. But I can't imagine it's as... I just can't imagine he's doing very well.
He's probably grieving too. And from his words, grieving for you too, not just Desiree.
It's, Theron said that a hand of Lolth somehow assassinated Desiree in the Celestial Plains.
Hmm.
I still don't know if it's true, but struggling to grapple with it. It is immensely conflicting.
Well, it was not your fault. And we'll just grieve together, I suppose.
As you guys sit there by the fire, you are shaken from your introverted and introspective, rather, stupor by a brisk breeze, bringing you back to, unfortunately, bringing you back to the immediate space you find yourself in, this cold, thick forest surrounded by the dead, snow, but ultimately each other.
What did they look like when I gave my spiel?
How
What
do
did you
mean?
read on? Or what did you read on their faces?
Oh, with Aladar and the others?
Yes.
Mm. A bit of awe, hope. It's just that that look in their eye that said, maybe things could change. And just from how Alondra tried when we were in one of the houses, when she struggled to ask for help, even just that moment after you spoke up, plus when you gave your very impressive speech, I think there is possibility with them. And I think they are beginning to see it. Even if they do not know it or want to admit it themselves, or to themselves, the possibility for change is there.
I'm just wondering if the possibility to change is true for everyone in the old faith.
That I do not know. From my studies, what I've read of Drow, the old faith is ingrained so deeply in Menzoberranzan society. But I think the best we can do is start on the outskirts with groups like Alondra's. You work your way in to the eye of the storm, so to speak. And from what I saw tonight, I think if anyone can do it, I think you have a chance at it.
Well, it was different with Alondra. I mean, she's a stranger who hadn't done anything wrong to me. I don't know how I'll handle it if... Never mind.
If someone who has wronged you needs changing,
Pretty much.
you don't need to tell me everything. Not yet. Or ever. It's up to you.
I just don't know how to put it into words. But Ezra was killed. Is it me who decides if that assassin deserves a chance or not?
I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I could give you all the answers, but it's something to consider, to think on. But one step at a time.
We should get some rest.
Well,
Before you
what
wake up,
what is it?
Wall, you go back to sleep. After you shoot away the imp expertly, and a lot of the time this happens to myself. But when you go back to sleep, you're kind of put back into the dream you were having, but under different circumstances. The story has changed. The characters involved have changed. But as you open your eyes, inside of your dream, you see in front of you a very familiar sight, if not tinged with a little bit of sleepy haze. The valley and plains you grew up in. Breathtaking expanse of, in the spring especially, verdant meadows and very gently rolling hills. And even further back, it is held by towering cliffs adorned with waterfalls shooting and cascading down hundreds and hundreds of feet, shimmering and glinting in the sunlight behind them. This tranquil, strong, fast-moving, life-giving river that you know every bend, every break, every stream, every pebble, every rock in its length to the ocean. To the ocean. And nestled among the trees, these pine trees, clusters of well-crafted wooden lodges, yurts, pavilions, these designs almost built in nature, harmonizing seamlessly with the natural beauty of this valley that you have grown up in. After the grim, lethal stuff that you have engaged in the past few weeks, this is one of the most welcome sights. You lived in quiet balance with this nature and in the surroundings you lived in. Your days filled with laughter and storytelling, rhythmic sounds of both creating, crafting with their hands, and drums and song. You hear other Goliaths training in the open fields behind the buildings that stretched out as far as you could see. Graceful movements that you yourself know and are proud to see this discipline of tradition passed down to children nearby you that are playing, mimicking those warriors' stances with wooden swords or sticks, or a really good stick that looks like a sword. But despite this peaceful life, there are several warriors that stand alert with real weapons, honed weapons. You among them. You're ready to defend this idyllic sanctuary that you call home. And as you find your center, walk towards the glacier in the distance that supplies yourself with, supplies your tribe with fresh water, fresh ice. You walk towards a house.
Not like
Right.
this.
It's okay. It's okay. Where do we stop?
We
The
should
last,
be good.
the last chat. Let me refresh.
Okay, you should be good now.
Chat. Where did we stop?
What was the last thing you heard, chat?
Yeah, what was the last thing you heard? I've had this written for months. House. Okay, house. Got it. All right. So you train your eye on the glacier miles in the distance that supplies your tribe with fresh water, fresh ice, a place to to meet, spiritual gatherings, and on that path, you see a longhouse, held together with tree trunks and mud and stone. Um, you get closer and dodge children playing and mothers and parents managing them. You part this bone curtain, duck your head in, and you're overwhelmed with the smell of seasoned meats, dried meats, herbs and spices gathered from the woodlands and the wilds around. And a very familiar, kind face stares upon you, seated, but only to put on these splints, these pieces of armor that he is wrapping around his calf and tightening. He raises his head to you and stares at you in your eye and says, "What troubles you, child? I can see the peaks and valleys of your furrowed brow from here." As he stands several inches taller than you, the banner slowly approaches you, as you knew him in life. Jovial, kind, strong, a little bit intimidating, but fraternal in his love for you.
Wall's not even gonna hesitate, and he's just gonna go in for a hug.
He hugs you back. This is unexpected. Friend, what? I ask again. What troubles you? Are you okay? You ready for our hunt?
Yes, I am, but I do not know. I feel like I have been somewhere far away this whole time, and I lost you somehow. So
The river winds, but you always find your way home, my friend.
yes. I do not know why. It is so silly. It feels like I had forgotten how to get back to the river.
But and he's like touching the wood of the table and taking a deep breath.
No, this is home. This is real, yes?
It is very real. His smile deflates a little bit. He looks at you and says, have you been feeling powers course through you, my friend? Have you been contacted, touched, spoken to? Does the power flow through you?
Wall slumps down on the chair and like temples his hands and
It is like Banner. Do you ever think that we are being led like a horse to the riverside by forces that we cannot comprehend, forces beyond any of our ken?
He sits back down. Sometimes, as you have seen with a few of your brothers, the Ember, he has found ways to make the fire his. He finds strange ways to paint with the flame.
breathe it, even.
He smiles.
He has spoken to me about this several times. A horned beast speaks to him in the dark depths of the night. He rolls. He does not sleep, he sweats. But these are gifts. These are things that we take to the source. We speak to them. And we are spoken to. When the wolf howls, the deer listens. A warning? Maybe. Danger? You can handle. And power? You have been destined for from the start. Your midwife said it upon your birth. The moon shone on you at the hour of your birth, and I knew there was something to you. You protect and keep safe. You fend off and insulate. You're like a wall.
His smile fades again.
You are our wall. The wall.
Standing tall, impossible to fell. The strength that you speak of, it is why I picked this name for myself. To be unshakable, to not care. But the things that you talk about, these promises, these gifts, I did not believe myself to be a tributary. Like the Ember, like all the others. Do you see that potential within me?
I do. We all have. And it is... It is something that we cannot help you navigate. This is a journey. For you. This is a calling to you. The river flows and takes whatever it has down its path to the ocean, but the stones,
And he puts his hand to his chest.
the stones remain. And if you are to be a tributary, you must follow the river wall. You must follow the moon. And I will be here, the stone, for when you return. I will always be with you. We, the hill, the hail, we are always here. Right here.
And he presses his finger to your heart, and you feel it. The strength, the love, the warmth. And you see Ray in front of you, waking you up.
Good morning again. Sorry for the cold, dark setting. You have to open your eyes too. Me, of course.
Yes. Right. It is my turn to take watch, yes?
Yeah, are you okay, Walt?
And he, like, gets up. No, it is... I realize that it is a silly thing for me to say and for you to hear, but I do not remember the path to get back to the river.
Yeah, it is a little silly, but we can dissect that. The river, like your home.
Yes. It is like I can feel. It is like looking at a big painting of some kind. I can see like the housing, the people, the children, but when I get closer, it is all just a blur. You know?
I think I understand. Why does home or the river have to be something you go back to?
It is just how I am meant to live my life. I go out, I pursue glory, I win. And I come home and I tell my story to inspire the younger ones. Flow back into the river and make it stronger. It flows stronger. But maybe this is not the path that I am meant to walk anymore. Maybe it is a different path.
Well, you're not saying you want to leave.
No. I am beholden to this group. You are stuck with me. But
I haven't paid you yet. Of course, I would be shocked.
But I think it is what happens after. What will become of me once we are done with all of this battle of the gods and saving Lolthlorian and all this?
Ooh. I don't know about you, but that sounds like it's quite the epic tale to bring back, if that's what you wanted.
That would be the dream, yes, but I hope that I can remember the road home once everything is done.
Oh. Well, I mean, we could always, like, get a map.
Yes, a map would help.
Don't think too far ahead, well. We have enough problems right here in the present.
Yes. You are right. I'm sorry. I've been getting too distracted with everything that has been happening.
I think you've been dreaming a little too long.
Yes. And too vividly, I think.
Zephyros is going to lay back down to rest, but, you know, stay nearby
Okay.
in case anything happens.
All
Or
you find your way to the fireplace, and sitting next to you is Ilandra, poking the campfire. She acknowledges your presence, and she loses herself in the campfire's blaze.
Wall's gonna unsheath the sword that he's been carrying this whole time, and just kind of have it out in front of him, like holding it very gently, just inspecting it.
As you hold it out, the canopy of the forest above you, every now and again you get little pins of moonlight that pock the surface of the sword, and a more intense silvered color, almost luminescent, begins to dance across the blade as you hold it in the light and stare into it. Alondra looks over, distracted almost, like when you get, your watch catches the light and kind of blinds somebody. It says,
That is a magnificent weapon.
Yes, it was given to me by circumstance. I am sorry if the glare caught your eye.
No apologies needed. It's...
She looks at your face. May I inspect it?
The wall will like, rotate the blade so the handle's over to her side and extend it over to her.
She gives a little like bow, almost, and she grasps it by the hilt. And then as soon as it leaves your hand, expertly, she begins to dance with it. She stands up and begins to move it around her body, twirling it, flourishes that also catch the moonlight and reflect into your eyes, and you see her smile for just a second. And after about a minute of this dance that she does, she grabs it and looks at it and says,
the sword of the sister. She chose you.
Yes, she did.
I have... Ray has unexpectedly enlightened my soul for the evening. I apologize for the whimsical nature of how I handled your weapon.
It is not whimsical, it was just like the fair lady herself.
She gives you the hilt back, bows her head until you take it.
And Wall grabs it back and like returns to like almost caressing it, but like looking at it with a pensive eye.
No steel can match the Lady's silver. You do well to take care of that weapon, even if it's lost its runic nature.
Yes, it is a gift I will not squander, but it's funny. I never really had a propensity towards swords. They were far too short. Not easy to wield on horseback. Not easy to reach enemies that are down below you.
Agreed. Daggers are more adept in the tunnels of the Underdark, the alleys of Menzoberran's, and no one has the purchase to swing a sword, and if you do, I'll gut you quicker than you know.
Not as good that you still have a fighting spirit.
She wrestles with a thought, and you see it on her face.
How long have you been with these people?
It has been some time now. I was originally just working as a mercenary under Zephra'el's employee. But ever since I took this job, it has spiraled into something beyond my reckoning.
How so?
I was just a simple warrior, a simple horseman. It was a simple escort job, but now, chosen by gods, given runic silver blades, fighting against other gods, it has been... It is like I walked into a story. And I'm still not sure how I can approach it in a way that is becoming of a character in a story.
Why look at it through that glass?
It is how I was raised. I heard stories of legendary warriors all throughout my youth. They inspired me to proceed out here, become a mercenary. Stories are all I have known. It is how I have enjoyed life, through their lens.
Well, all the stories they tell us down below in the Underdark are cautionary tales. The spider who spins too high meets the falcon, not the moon. We're never encouraged to take risks, unless it benefits us and us alone. From what I've learned on the surface, heroes like Dristoerden are selfless. I'm coming to learn that's a virtue here.
It is. But is there such thing as true selflessness when it comes to this, to heroism? To truly do the right thing for no reason other than because it is the right thing to do?
That does require courage, bravery, or stupidity. It's a fine line I walk. What did you say your name was again?
I am the wall.
Ah, that's it. There was an idiom thrown around the city for quite some time in the Underdark. An old drow saying, "To walk upon the wall is to own the blade." And if you take risks, or try a dangerous path, you'd better have a sword to defend yourself. That's as good as any right there.
I like this saying. It feels very... It is like it was made for me.
Does the moon speak to you, Wall?
The moon. In my dreams, I think it does speak to me. But I wish there was some way that I could listen more closely. Try to hear what it's saying more accurately.
Dotted along the coastline are temples to Elestray. Some have gone the fate of the Temple of Ilmater, been buried beneath the coastline, into the walls, the cliffs and crags. If you wish to speak to the sister directly, it would be the best place to do it. In fact, Had I known about this connection earlier, I would have been a bit more liberal with my knowledge, but I did not know you. I did not trust you.
It is all right.
There is a temple to Elistray beneath the Warlock's castle. If the power is still there, with that sword and that courage, a hero's bravery, maybe you can talk to her.
Below the Warlock's castle, you say?
Correct.
I will make a note of that. Thank you for the information. You did not need to share it with me, but I appreciate it.
Thank you for the exercise. And gracing my palm with your blade.
It still does not feel like my blade, but you're welcome.
I will, try to go back to sleep. I've had the most vivid dreams lately.
Yes, me as well. I will not keep you up for longer. Please, go right ahead.
She gets up and just walks away. Goes back to her pile of other drow and tries to snuggle up and stay warm. A brush of wind kind of kicks up some loose snow. It's cold, but the night's almost over. Make a perception check.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
oh, oh, oh, oh. What'll it be?
Oh boy.
There
we go.
There we go. And that will be 1d20 plus 5. Oh, that's a nat 1.
Wow.
The snow, in fact, when it got kicked up, kind of like went into your visor, and you had to like carve some of it out and blow hot air out in order to melt it down your visor. And yeah, you didn't seem like you missed anything. It's a little chilly, but you're used to that kind of thing. The fire is inviting, and you're just kind of distracted by the slow creep of the sun rising over the ocean. I think. Who else do we have? Is that everybody? Yeah, that's everybody.
Everybody.
Okay, cool. After the next 90 minutes of your watch, the sun begins to reveal more of its curvature over the horizon, and like
It's alright.
far in the distance, you hear the crow of a cockerel, and signals the morning has come. Everybody gets a long rest.
Oh my god.
Thank God.
Right? About
We
damn
did
time.
it, fuckers.
Oh my god. All right.
After me.
So yeah, that said, Elandra and the three drow wastrels kind of get back up, and she helps them gather their things and puts them into the cart. Penelope has been awake for a little bit, but has been finding some things to eat in and around the buildings. What do y'all do?
What if we all just sat here in silence?
Yeah.
Like,
We're
Dan, what would
all
you do?
just
What would you
snoozing.
do if we all just like
What would
didn't
We're all
speak?
just snoozing.
I would be like, if you guys want to stay here, you can. If you, I mean, you're gonna burn the day, but yeah, I got things planned. You guys got places to go though.
Yeah, we do.
Let's move. Let's go. Let's move.
Okay. So you
Seems
gather all
like
of your
kinda
things.
Nothing happened.
All of your
Tonight.
no, seems like nothing happened.
Actually, the
Besides,
thing you ignored so willfully was a fiend.
It was an imp.
A fiendish
An
imp.
imp.
Oh, you fought it. Good job.
No,
We shoot it away.
I didn't even wake up. That's great on you guys.
it
Loose
fell out of the trees and began rolling in the fire, and then the wall chased it off.
It was probably trying to stay warm.
That seemed about right. Yeah.
sounded disgusting.
It
Oh.
was. Honestly,
hate
you're
to see
you're
it, but
very
Infernal-
lucky.
Infernal's not a nice language. It's very
Oh, it
guttural.
would have spoken infernal.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how
Yeah,
to
you spoke Abyssal.
Y'all could have
Like,
woke me up if y'all were trying to
No,
communicate with it.
I speak infernal.
Like,
I just
it's like going up to somebody and going,
yeah.
bonjour.
Why do you speak infernal?
Might be
I
easier to ask
like
if you
to
don't
study
speak.
languages. You know this.
You like to study, and I'm well. Look at me.
Beautiful,
There's a
darling.
reason.
You're
Well,
beautiful.
good point.
All right. So you guys mass all of your newfound belongings, your
Right.
mirror, the pickaxe, the shovel, your gloves, and everything.
Check out this sick
stamp-
ass mirror wall.
You sick ass.
You show the mirror to wall.
There's a million gold on the other side. Yeah, I show him.
Yeah, as the Penelope begins to pull the cart along and you guys walk and talk, you show him the mirror. This gilded mirror, this ovular mirror. It's like patinaed to a point. The silver mirror is patinaed to a point where you can barely see what's reflected. It's kind of like blurry a little bit, but it's a mirror, and Ray's just holding it up.
We could literally buy our way back to the river with this once we figure out how to slay the dragon on the other side.
Yes, it will fetch a pretty penny.
No, the mirror? No. There's gold on the other side.
Oh.
There's a fortune behind that mirror.
It's a magic mirror, and it's not because I'm holding it, but thank you, Sunday.
You guys leave the little landing, the encampment that you have put together, and as soon as you leave, you see the snow begin to start to take it over once more. The footsteps and everything that disturbed it is blown over swiftly, and you guys trudge through like mid-shin deep snow. And on the way up of outside of this cedar valley, is a pretty steep incline. You guys are going up a pretty steep hill. This is a bit of a hike. You know, it takes a little bit for Penelope to find her footing. There's no wind, thankfully, but the drow are kind of bundling themselves up and shielding themselves from the sun that's managing to poke in through the cedar trees on either side of you guys. And after about an hour or two of just up this large hill, just coated in these large cedar trees, you start to crest the other side, and there's a plateau thereabouts of about 100-foot plateau, and as you get to the other side of this plateau, the trees begin to turn to shrubs, to scrub, and then to a clean hillside all the way down. And as you guys get there, it's cresting about maybe 11:30 or noon, you see a very familiar sight. Phoenix.
Let's go.
Castle Aladar. About, half a mile away from you guys right now. Castle Aladar rising majestically. There's a valley in front of you, deep, covered in snow, and then it rises to the top. This obsidian black rock of the northeastern coast, a fortress, a little bit fantastic, but very imposing. It's several towering spires on each side of the keep, piercing the bruised purple-gray skies. Their tops themselves are crested with intricate stone carvings, gargoyles, banners that snap defiantly in these cold coastal winds. And the castle itself, as those of you who have never seen it before, you look upon it, it looks as though it's almost been grown naturally out of this rock, and then it starts to become more masonry. This jagged rock becoming intricate, like bespoke stones. Dark stone walls, they blend seamlessly with these this almost shiny rock underneath of it. Frost, snow, rime, all clinging to the battlements and the ramparts. You see from one side the salt spray of these large northeast sea waves crashing against the coast itself. The reinforced gates are starting to there's crumbling happening. It begins to dawn on you guys that after you are impressed by the majesty of this building itself, you see that the skies, though gray and purple, are being mixed with smoke. Behind it, there are active fires burning at the base of this castle. You see just inky pillars of smoke and flame that frame this almost like fairy tale castle. There's a small cluster of buildings outside the larger ramparts, and as you guys start to make your way down the hill, you notice that these smaller buildings themselves are smoldering and smoking. It's going to take about an hour for you to get to the outside village of Castle Aladar.
You'll, as we're like walking forward, Phoenix doesn't really like seem to, like his face doesn't let off any like impression that he's, you know, worried or nervous or anything, but he does like hold on to the grip of his weapon as he's walking forward with like a pace that is slightly more purposeful than his usual lackadaisical, you know, gait.
Sure. Does anybody else want to do anything?
Argentum's going to step up beside Phoenix and just kind of give his wrist just like a firm squeeze, just in sort of like support, and look at him.
We should move quickly, yes?
The faster the better, actually. But be careful.
Well, obviously. Aren't I always very careful?
Might
Let's-
be the most careful one.
Just assume for a moment that we won't have the Deva's help with the pit fiend that's potentially here at the castle. What is the plan for something of that caliber?
You make an excellent point.
Hit it hard and hit it fast.
But are we...
Kill it before it kills us.
I love the simplicity team. However, I don't know.
I love the simplicity, team. You don't sound very convinced.
Based on my knowledge, I'm not quite sure that we will be able to hit it hard enough.
I am in agreement.
It's not a
with
slight
you.
or anything.
Yeah, we'll have to case it and see if it's in condition to even for us to challenge it.
Assume that we can't whittle it down to death. Any plans? Nobody
Might be
has
able
a scroll of banishment on them?
Might be able to catch
Goodness,
it by
I
surprise.
wish. But then we might have a cornered animal situation. It is assumedly very dangerous, and if your master is asking for help,
I mean,
and he is as powerful as he is, as the stories say, I am not hopeful of our chances. Do you know
Well,
of any secret entrances, any strange ways in, like, I don't know, underneath the castle, or
yes, I mean,
don't
of
know.
course we have many of those. I will say, I mean, out of character, I don't know, but DM knows that I know.
Yeah. Would you like
I
to
don't know
make?
exactly.
Would you like to
Personally, I
make
don't know exactly
a
where it is.
make a
but
history
DM
check?
DM knows exactly where I know where it is. 14.
14. You do know that there was one, but in the kerfluffle of you being gone and this this whatever it is, taking over a castle or injuring your friends, what have you. You're not exactly sure where the entrance is. You know it's under the castle somewhere, but
Right.
you don't know where.
The way things are looking, we'll have to go searching for it. Might be covered at this point. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
it could
like
be covered in snow. Yeah.
There's like rubble, right? It's like burning and things
Yeah,
are broken.
there's visible damage to the castle itself, interior. The buildings, as you get closer to them, you start to wheel the cart closer. There are no paths here, but you do see horse tracks around the outside. It's a very wide berth. There's disturbed snow and even grass and mud and dirt within a wide circumference around the actual like collection of buildings, the small little hamlet that is just outside of Castle Eladar's gates. Looks like somebody has been here relatively recently. Within the last 12 hours, there's been like 6 to 12 horses.
Right. Well, I was hoping to at least find the old man first, and then maybe he could help us out. That was my initial plan.
Could Whimsy perhaps find him? He's done
I
so
could ask.
before.
I could certainly ask. I will, signal Whimsy and also pull out a snack bribe.
Oh, nice. This lump that lives in your hood kind of wriggles to life and pokes its head over one of your shoulders.
Yeah. Maybe look for the old man or the secret passage, whichever one is easier. And let us know.
You see a subtle nodding of the head up and down. Whimsy opens its quite big for a rat's maw, kind of goes back even further than you think it would, and grabs this piece of ration, scurries down your leg and then into the snow, and you just see this like burrowing lump. You don't even see Whimsy, you just see this lump of snow just
I love that
going
rat.
into the little hamlet in front of you guys. He's just going straight ahead of you guys.
He's growing on me.
Is it not an active battleground that we're approaching? Or on our way to?
It certainly could be. Looks like tracks of a few sets of horses.
We're an hour from a village?
You're right now, you're about 500 feet away from the first building in this small hamlet that is outside of the gates of Castle Aladar.
Gotcha.
It's like a Hogsmeade kind of thing. It's a small village. It's not necessarily going to it's self-sustaining, but it's not like New York City or anything.
Does it look like it's being touched by combat at the moment, or does it look relatively like calm?
You hear
Or I guess
even
hear that.
from as far away as you are, there's a couple of pretty raging infernos in there. Every now and again, you'll hear as bits of shoring and structure collapse in on themselves in the flames. But you don't hear steel on steel. You don't hear roaring. You don't even hear like animals or anything like that, or shouting or laughing. It seems pretty silent from here.
I say to Alondra, and your sisters, they don't fight, correct?
They can if I tell them to, but they are not bred for it.
I will let you make the choice on whether or not they fight and where to shelter them if they don't.
If we find weapons, they will fight.
Alright, I'm following the rest of you.
Penelope kind of takes lead at this point. Her ears erect themselves, begin to listen a little bit more acutely. She horse squints and charges a little bit more resolutely towards the small collection.
I love it, dude. I'm seeing it in my eye.
And she pulls out ahead of you guys, maybe 5 or 10 feet. And after about 15 minutes of coasting down this hill, the sound of deep crackling of huge timbers burning begins to like hit your guys' chest as the reality of this starts to impress itself upon you specifically, Phoenix.
Mhm.
You see a small town that is known to you very intimately. This is where you would spend your evenings with your friends, your fellow students, who looked up to you, who enjoyed your demeanor, your quick wit, and your dry humor, especially as you pass the first building that any traveler to Castle Aladar will pass, the inn known as the Swindler's Spirit. And it is crumbling in on itself. The heart of this town, this collection of students, you know, it's all staffed and run and worked on by students, and it is a haunting reminder of what you had. Two large windows broken, a small fire on the inside burns, tables flipped, and the property damage is what hits you first, but you're not sure if it's because that's what you saw first or you didn't want to see what you saw second. The corpses of several students. One short, tousled brown hair, frozen over, snow, wind blasting their face, a dagger held in one hand, a wand in the other. Its corpse is still wearing its school livery, purple, black, and green colors that now hang limply from the lifeless body. And then you see several others that have been buried in drifts of snow. One missing a limb, another who's missing a head. Several of these corpses are unrecognizable, and unfortunately so. You look inside the Swindler's Spirit. The hearth is choked with ash. The chimney is crumbled in on itself. It looks like something took a bite out of one of the walls. The flames supernaturally lick the inside of this building, almost mocking the cold snow and frost outside. And you can still see where you used to get very drunk, where you used to play all sorts of games and be mirthful with your friends. These scraps of colorful house banners. A mural of Castle Aladar, the Faded, is still hanging on to one of the cobblestone walls. This isn't a battlefield, but it certainly was for a day or so. These guys didn't know what they were in for.
We're a little late.
Are you alright?
I will be. When we win. And I will snap my fingers and the black cloak that envelops my body begins to change, and it's the same cloak, but the whole cloak is now, like, the entirety of the outfit is like almost like a tundra ghillie color.
You see these white, blue, and black specks start to form on Phoenix's exterior, billowing with the wind, almost blending in with the breeze themselves.
We gotta kill this thing.
You press forward into the hamlet and see scratch marks on the stone, balls of flame from burning from some refuse, supernatural gobs of fire everywhere. This place is almost beyond repair.
As Phoenix walks, he doesn't say anything. His face doesn't move.
Press through, passing building after building, shutters smacking against the wind, and then you hear it. Something you heard very recently. Leathern wings. Perched on the roofs of the buildings to your left and right are imps looking at you. There's 3, 4, 5 of them. They start to hoop and holler at each other like monkeys.
Are they speaking?
Oh, they're just making noise.
Yeah, the same thought.
Quite riled up, aren't they?
Dinner has arrived, perhaps. I have a feeling they might have been waiting. Well, not for us, but maybe for Phoenix. We don't know what the situation with Ipswich is.
One flies off back to the castle, carrying its fat body with it.
Now, these ones, I believe, are scouts.
Definitely.
Especially the one that flew away. It's going back to the castle. It might be trying to relay information.
That's what I'm thinking.
And you see the imp go from red to, in the shadow of the rampart, black. And as you follow it, the imp careens from the sky and spirals in a hail of, like a balloon popped from the sky and falls down behind the walls.
Not what I expected.
Oh?
I didn't
10
turn
more
out
minutes
too well for it, did it?
Is
Travel
there,
for about 10 more... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
is there some sort of necrotic or some sort of barrier blocking the castle, perhaps?
Whatever barrier is definitely long down. Judging by the look of this place.
I'm gonna hold what's it called? Shit. Armor of Agathis, I think.
Okay.
I think I do get that for free. Hold on, let me check. Ignore me. If I do have it, I'm gonna hold it for like right before we get into any trouble. I'll pop it so that I don't have to waste an action.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart. Okay. You come to the square, as it were, of this small little town. 2 buildings on either side are just completely in ruins. There's 1 or 2 that are still standing, probably more in the interior, closer to the walls. There's a small well in the center of this this town. Some market stalls that have been, tossed. The fruit and veg have all rotted and burst into flames and immolated, even against the snow and the wind. As you pass through that, you get to the gate, which is open. It is halfway so, just enough for the wall it'll just graze his head. He may have to duck a little bit to get through, but it's open just enough for everybody to make it through. And as you do, you are greeted with the Mott, or the Bailey of this Mott and Bailey castle. The horse stables over to the left are still, for the most part, standing, though some of the horses on the inside are dead. There are dormitories and entrances to the ramparts and the castle walls directly next to you. Let me get to my description here. And the interior courtyard of this is it's stark. It's devoid of life. There are scorch marks on every stone surface. Gouts of flame have been carved in various places across bits of wood, across palisades. This definitely was a battle. There are more students' corpses littered about, charred or desiccated in other ways, and killed in ways that you can barely fathom. Right? You're trying to think of how some of these people died, and it's gruesome. It's brutal. It's harsh. And Phoenix, you know that these kids, you know, the oldest student is like 35 in human years. Right. In front of you, there is a large door, wooden door. You know, in a traditional castle way. It's got an arch to it. It's a double door, very heavy, bound in steel, and it is carved in wood on the outside, in common, Castle Aladar, and then across the band of iron, it is emblazoned, magically so, in this golden filigree, Ipswich's School for Swindlers. And you hear rustling on the other side of the door. You hear the door move just a little bit.
Oh. I'm going to slowly approach the door.
You do so. Step by step. Snow, ice, and frozen blood crunching under your boots. You get close to the door, silently, close enough to see that it is slightly ajar, and your eyes meet the eyes of somebody you have not seen in months. Piercing green eyes of a friend that you can't forget. He was the highest ranking student when you left the school. Your drow friend, Corbin. And his eyes widen. He pushes the door open. And you see his white hair, his ponytail, very distinct, very tight, all the way down to the middle of his back. You see this whip of a ponytail come through the door and give you a hug.
Holy shit. Corey's still in the house.
Ding! Good night, everybody!
Sorry.
Cut tension with a knife, and you used a hammer. Cool. Corbin stands very tall to everybody else who isn't looking at this moment. Corbin stands very tall for somebody that looks like, you know, he's in his mid-20s. He has a very thin frame, clad in the deep purple, green, and silver colors of the school that you have, you know, the banners were waving in the breeze as you walked up this hill. The Ipswich's crest is actually embroidered in his cloak. It's just the letter I in common in silver on his cloak, which has been slightly frayed from combat. Again, he has very stark ivory white, silver almost hair pulled back in a very tight functional braid about to the middle of his back. And it looks, it's a very stark contrast to the darkness of his skin, which is like almost a brown black. He clutches a spell book in one hand that kind of wraps around Phoenix as he hugs him, and he pushes Phoenix away and looks at you.
Where have you been?
I came as fast as I could.
Not fast enough.
You're right.
And slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, a dozen heads push the door open just a little bit more. This is all that remains of Ipswich's School for Swindlers.
This isn't all of you, is it?
He nods his head. He doesn't say anything. His jaw
Where's the
tightens. You see the muscles as he grinds his teeth.
Where's the old man? Where's the old man?
Who are you traveling with?
He looks at you guys very cautiously.
My name is Argentum Rilis. I'm an author from, well, here. Not here. I'm a friend, a companion of Phoenix. We met in Eve Branca.
It almost looks like your words smacked against a wall. This man is carrying the weight of his peers' expectations, and trying to be determined through it all. It doesn't. Okay.
They're the best reinforcements you can get.
3 days too late, but what do you know? Just come inside.
Starts to rub his temples.
I just use my fingers to signal everyone to follow me in.
We're following.
We're following.
The door opens wider to accommodate everybody to come in. And even Penelope is kind of welcomed and ushered into the great hall that you guys see in front of you. The main hall of Castle Eldar, as you go in, the rugs and carpets and opulence have all been kind of stripped from the walls. You see banners and pennants and things like that crumpled on the floor in flames, or recently immolated. There's a huge fireplace at the far end, about like 15 feet tall. It's like like a Citizen Kane style fireplace. It's huge.
Damn.
There is nothing is burning. It is again choked with ash. And where Ipswich would normally sit is almost a throne. This big red runner goes all the way down this 500, 600 foot great hall. Tables on either side, and this throne is covered in burn marks, ash. It looks like something tectonic exploded on that throne, and it has since caused the ceiling and the wooden chandeliers and everything to catch on fire, and they're still kind of smoldering. This place looks like it has literally been pulled through hell. And some of the students sit down at the tables in the Great Hall to grab, one another, and then they go and start to walk around, almost as if they're doing patrols. And Corbin looks at you and says,
The professor is ill.
But alive.
He's breathing, if that's what that means.
Here?
Yes. He's in his quarters.
Do you mind?
You know where it is.
Right. I'll turn to the rest of the party and say, just give me a moment, please.
Take your time, darling.
Perhaps catch us up on what has happened while he's gone.
Which one of you has knowledge of the arcane?
I do. I cast magic through writings.
He ushers you over to one of the long oaken tables that has been burnt in half and sits down with you. And begins to try and explain what's going on.
The professor hasn't told us much. If anything, he's barely able to speak. But it has something to do with him. This is all his. This is all his doing. He may not be directly responsible, but it is hard for him to speak. He does not trust me. He was waiting for Phoenix to get here to do anything.
From the little I understand about Phoenix's bond with your professor, that adds up. I understand that we are later than preferred, but I promise you we will do everything that we can to assist.
You said this was all his doing? Who exactly are you talking about?
Ipswich, I assume.
Yes, Professor Aladar. He has tangled himself in ancient timelines. Been a part of things that carved rivers, moved glaciers, sundered mountains. Something he did killed us all.
Perhaps I'm spitballing here. Could possibly be if we are dealing with a pit fiend. An old deal ran across the wrong person, perhaps, and as someone who also tries to use wit to get out of things, perhaps it went badly. I do not know.
He has taught us all about pacts, about agreements. Never make deals with devils unless you can guarantee you know what you're getting. But you say a pit fiend. That is what that myth given flesh and fire was.
From what we know, yes. We have on divine authority that we are dealing with a pit fiend. Which would... that would explain why there is so much destruction. So if you made a deal with a pit fiend and tried to get out of it, there are grave consequences for breaking a pact, especially with a devil, a fiend of any kind.
She was the thrall, not the instigator. She was the messenger, not the author. She was the warning, not the punishment.
Is he reciting something?
He looks in a trance, but make an insight check.
22.
Yeah, he seems to be reciting something from a book.
Is it a familiar book to anybody here?
Argentum, would you like to make a history check?
I would fucking love to. Let me find what page
God knows
I
I
have
will
my
read
roll
books.
20 on.
Same.
Imagine reading.
You guys read?
No.
History check. Boop. 14.
14. It if he is reciting well he is. He's reciting something from a book, but it is not a history. It is a fiction. It is a romance. It's something you can't quite put your finger on. But it's not based on real events that you know of.
She wielded a glaive. A blade that cleaves not just flesh, but the hope of man. That ash is all that she leaves.
He points to the throne.
I stood before her thinking I could fight. But staring upon her felt like staring into the end of all things. This was not a test of strength. This was not a courageous fight. This was despair. This was staring at death. Staring at a myth. Beautiful, bright, flaming myth. The professor tried to fight her off. He tried valiantly. Ice, lightning, frost and steam. Nothing could pierce that molten armor.
He is staring at he's having a PTSD episode. Like he's almost unreachable. Once he starts telling the story, it seems like he just kind of loses himself. And everybody is like, some of the students come up and put a hand on his shoulder and look at you guys. One of them looks at you, Ray, and says,
He was the only one who actually saw her. She was shadow to us all.
And believe me, I am quite sorry to ask. Did you get a name?
Nine Flame. Nine Flame the Glorious. It roared like thunder in my ears.
Does that name ring any bells?
Okay. Make a history check with disadvantage.
Yeah, that tracks. All right.
Come on.
Big money.
Let's see.
Big money,
No
big
whammies.
whammies. Let's go.
The she they're describing is that the pit fiend, or what we think was the pit fiend? Like, are we talking about the same things?
It seems like it. 15. So, there are 12 pit fiends. That's about it with a 15. There are only 12. You can, yes, sure, of course. Roll a history check with advantage. You are fiendish.
Fiendish in nature. History check.
Fiendishly handsome, got him.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Alright. History check, you said?
Mhm.
Okay.
Get it, buddy.
18.
18.
9.
Nine Flame is the general of Asmodeus's private guard.
Oh.
We're cooked.
Literally.
He said, how do you spell that?
Nine Flame?
Oh, got it.
Nineflame.
Okay, I just didn't know if I was hearing nine fleeing or flame.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
it's fucking the compression fucks
9
with everything.
Nine
flans.
flan.
9 flans. I saw it jiggling in front of me.
He's so dead.
It was a delicious treat.
He was just there, jiggling menacingly.
Hey, she's a woman, but you know.
Hell yeah,
Well-
brother. Anyway.
Well, if Sunder knows who this is, then I guess it'll be kind of his demeanor kind of drops. He kind of is showing a little bit of fear at the name.
Yeah.
I think we are going to be be in a bit of a bind if we're dealing with Nine Flame.
And why would that be, darling?
Nine Flame is one of the generals of Asmodeus. Very powerful pit fiend.
So we're fucked, is what you're saying.
I would say
That checks
so.
out.
That fucking Deva. Oh.
I don't get it. Surely he would know this would be sending us to our deaths. He's
I
not
hate
that
to
out of touch.
I
Who
hate
sent
to say
you?
it, but perhaps that was the point.
The Deva. Brian,
Hey.
Star Shadow. Should you call for them?
There is a Deva on the material plane.
Dealing
Multiple.
with the catastrophe that happened in Ivranka, yes.
What happened in Ivranka?
I suppose you would know. A horde, an apocalypse of Driders have destroyed the city.
His face goes white despite its complexion. Several of the others walk away from the group that have surrounded Corbin. One student begins to cry.
Combat isn't an option.
What do we do? They'd be coming this way. How long can the Devas hold them off?
I
Who are
think.
these riders under the city?
Unfortunately, the Drider attack was. It was orchestrated by the god Veyran, son of Lolth.
Yes, I know the name. But he has been in prison.
He got out. And believe us, we have been face to face with him thrice.
You can help us.
How?
Stay here with us. You can protect us. We can help.
I promised Phoenix that I would assist in this.
We have magics. The professor's menagerie. We have weapons. Spells. Please.
We will do what we can. I promise you we will do what is within our capabilities. That I can promise you.
I have to stay strong. For my peers. They look to me for leadership. As our professor lays, resting. But if Phoenix trusts you, I trust you.
Hopefully Phoenix can get some more information out of your professor. Phoenix seems to
Smooths his
trust him
hair back.
implicitly.
Pulls his ponytail Smooth that out.
All right, well, can you show us your weapons at least while we wait longer?
Yes. We will take you to the menagerie.
And we will cut to Phoenix going to
Oh boy.
Ipswich's quarters. And you know exactly where this is.
Right.
It's crazy how effortless you're able to make your way to his quarters while such destruction and unfamiliarity rains down around you. You go up the set of spiral stairs, across the rampart, to the other side of the castle, which then opens up into a large private quarters that looks like it's not been burnt, but been through a physical contest. Like, it's been through a struggle, right? There's papers everywhere,
Right.
broken boards, the window has been cut out or punched out. His fireplace is going very weakly. It's the floor to ceiling bookshelves that have been caved in. Let me find my actual description here. Scattered remnants of like shattered furniture and pews. There's bits of gold pieces and silver trinkets and stuff that are littering the floor and the carpets and the rugs that he's kind of strewn about to keep the noise down. And the only thing that really remained untouched was his feather bed that is far off in the corner. The wind rushes through the open window. The curtains kind of flap in the breeze as Professor Aladar lays gaunt in his bed, unconscious.
I slowly approach.
You get about 6 feet away and his eyes shoot open. Very familiar golden eyes stare at you. And his skin, which is usually this like golden blue, has paled to a jaundice yellow. His cheekbones are sunken in slightly, but he manages with a lot of trying
Get up on his elbows, and he smooths his hair back and puts it behind his ear and tries to
pull down his sleepwear. It's just like a robe and a couple of shirts just to remain warm in the cold breeze. And a familiar smile flicks across his face, and he inhales deeply.
You made it. My son.
I bite my lip. This isn't like you.
It is not. And I have tried to get out of bed, but no one will let me. Here, help me out of bed.
Shouldn't you stay down for a bit?
He looks at you.
If you insist.
And he, with a lot of relief, kind of lays back down in bed, almost as though he was waiting for you to tell him to get in bed.
How did you lose?
I tried everything. I fought as hard as I could. I gave it frost, I gave it thunder. I gave it incantations. Nothing would pierce it. Cleaved my staff in twain. Broke my wards upon the castle. Broke my wards upon the students.
If I was 3
I-
days earlier, would it have changed anything?
He reaches a very knotted hand to your chest and puts a hand on it.
We will never know. You cannot carry that burden.
Why did it come?
He looks as though he is really, really fighting saying these words.
I have lied to you, Phoenix. No. This is a school for swindlers. I lie to you every day. I have kept things from you.
This wouldn't be home if you didn't.
He reaches to his bedside and puts on a pair of reading glasses.
Hand me that book over there, would you?
Hell. I'd grab the book and I'd lightly, gently toss it beside him on the bed.
And he cracks the spine and flips to a page. And he says,
It is with great care I have kept this secret from you and your brothers and sisters. It is with great care I've kept this secret from the world. Decades ago. Centuries.
he moves a page.
I felt the goodness in me to unite two lovers who had been cruelly separated.
That's not like you either.
It was back then. Long ago. The god Veyron was imprisoned by his mother. And he had love that could not penetrate the plane. He came to me in a dream, begged a god, begged, pleaded for me to help him. How could I say no? In return, I'd be granted his blessing. The blessing of the demon web pits and of Lolth herself. My name would spread through the family web, and even the likes of Elistray would visit. Bless our school, bless me, bless you, my son. I bent the world so he could see his lover. I twisted the planes themselves so he could cross and be with his glacier. Phoenix, I let Veyron out.
That
They
caused
sired a
this?
son.
Tell me. Tell me to be straight for once.
He takes his glasses off. He closes the book.
I was just trying to help. But I was a fool. Not a powerful warlock always. Not a mage, recluse in his tower of secrets. I was a fool, Phoenix. And now I fear my son has to clean up my mess. An old coach is soiling himself in his bed. There is more you must know, but do you have the stomach? Do you have the stomach for it?
You know better than anyone.
Veyron and the daughter of Asmodeus Glacier sired a son. Beery, who is now loose on the material plane.
Starting to understand.
Nine Flame was sent to find it. She did it. And if we do not get it back, if we do not bring the son of Satan to hell, we will have more to worry about than Pharaoh. He is a mere pawn. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
He turns away from you and looks out the window.
I also turn around.
I felt celestial presence. There's the Deva walk in our school.
Someone related.
Someone who could help. You have found friends. I never thought I would see the day my fee finds friends.
You're ridiculous, old man.
You get it from me. Have you seen Zack lately?
No.
How goes the search? Any leads?
No luck.
I'm sorry. Maybe he's caught up in this as well.
Saw someone that looked like him. But it wasn't.
He begins to cough and wheeze.
I am sick with the devil's chill.
Can I cure it?
No. You can't.
I put the knife away.
I
Not
will
even
be gone.
Sacrifice.
Nothing. I will be gone. In a week, a month. Cruel joke of this illness is we don't know when. I hope I can see you. Plunge your dagger, hurl your blast into the heart of the evil that I possess.
Stop. What do I have to do?
You and your friends. You must find Beardy first. He is young. He's innocent. He has lived his whole life on the material plane. He knows nothing of hell. He is ignorant. Wide-eyed and full of wonder, I've seen him in the glass.
Is there time?
I don't know. I don't know when Nine Flame will return. She begins a search of her own.
For the first time, the anger that usually doesn't go past the mouth reaches his eyes. And then he goes to the nearest desk and just rips across all the stuff onto the floor. Ah! Fuck! You can't see shit, old man! How do I cure it?
Phoenix, you cannot. In all of my arcane knowledge, there is nothing. The only hope is that I may find my own way back from beyond. From limbo.
Is the demon gone?
The pit fiend has left the school, yes. The minions are milling about the grounds. They've stolen my menagerie. They've stolen everything from me.
We'll find the kid.
If there is one thing that I know Veyran will want to find his lover. He will want to be with her, elope with her. If you find Veyran, you will find Glacier. If you find Glacier, you will find Veyran. But they cannot find Biri.
Right. After I find this kid, better still find you here.
You have made me so proud. He falls asleep. His chest heaves, wheezes, but he's used too much of his strength.
I stand there. Fucking shit. If I make my way back here, I don't find your fucking shit-eating ass, I'd fling the dagger towards him at the headboard of the bed. It sticks into it. I just turn around and I leave.
Okay. You make your way back across the ramparts, down the spiral stairs, and back into a slightly warmer great hall as some of the students have begun to light and stoke the fireplace of Castle Aladar, this huge, almost fire space, as there's some
warmth beginning to fill the room again. And you guys see Phoenix coming down from the stairs, emerging from the darkness.
Phoenix.
I walk up slowly. Is there a chair nearby? That I
Oh
see?
yeah, there's chairs everywhere. There's
Okay.
like a bench that everybody's sitting on too.
I will just take a seat at the closest one.
Are you okay, brother? Professor is not doing so well. He is not capable of too much right now. But he will get better. In time.
Right.
Your friends will help us. There is some hope.
You don't have to fight anymore.
What?
The demon is gone.
But the imps remain. The lemures and lesser things. They prowl the grounds. We can clear them in a few days.
I
If you
can
are
explain.
tired, you may rest.
No, we have to leave. There's an...
You only just got here.
Give me a moment. I will explain. I'm gonna take a dagger. And I will just slowly, like, run it down my leg.
Okay. Corbin reacts. This is normal.
He told me everything.
Of the demon. Of the pit fiend. Yes. I was telling your friends.
The pit fiend's here to look for some kid.
The kid. Us? The students? Your brothers and sisters?
Veyron's kid.
No.
Euron has a son.
My old man. With his bleeding fucking heart. Help that motherfucker get laid. And he's gonna drive the dagger deeper into his leg. The bastard kid.
Professor helped the demigod Veyron.
And now they're looking for his ass.
Hey,
What do they?
I think you may be misconstruing what he was saying. It cannot be true. He has been in prison.
Plane.
And Ipswich let him out.
Ipswich. Let Veyron out.
We think he's walking.
You're joking.
You think I like this shit too?
I'm not saying you do, I'm just realizing the ripple effect.
And if we don't find this kid, well, I will take the dagger out of my leg, just like let it drip. A lot more where this came from. That's for sure.
Why do we need to find the child?
to appease an even greater demon.
We are
Even greater. Explain.
Asmodeus has a family. Let's say your daughter ran off with some demigod. Then had his fucking kid. Would you like it?
I assume that Asmodeus did not care for this union.
I mean, he's protective of what's his.
What does he
So
want
no.
with the child? Do you know?
I can only imagine.
We cannot allow that to happen.
I could think of a few things as to why he would want the child.
Make his daughter and Veyron pay is only what I can assume. What are you thinking, Ray?
Well, I don't know how to put it into words. This is pretty fucked.
You're right.
We are making enemies of the entire Pantheon at this point.
But there is a Deva. We have help.
We do not know if they are coming.
If you shake the tree of the world, the leaves fall. They will aid us. They will. Right, Phoenix?
I look down.
We have to.
I'm not so sure at this point.
Did he mention how long the pit fiend has been on this plane?
Honestly, couldn't tell you.
Did he give any leads on where this child might be? We had already planned to find them, so plans don't really change with the new information.
When did you all hear about them?
I swear I'm remembering it was mentioned.
It was mentioned exclusively to me, but we can roll with it.
I remember having thoughts about using this child against Verun. Did I just imagine that?
Yup, because I was told not to mention it to anyone, and I ain't told any of y'all fuckers.
Then how do I have this information?
Because you were in the
came
call
to
when it
me.
was told to me.
It came to you in a dream.
Well, I say instead, this could be good ammo to use against Verun.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Like, I ain't said fucking shit.
No leads. No nothing. I mean, if there were any leads, then the pit fiend would have found him already.
Not necessarily. It's not
What
like
if-
it's not like pit fiends are the most intelligent.
Sure.
Right. Wait. We all think in despair. There are weaknesses. We can find them. Arcane physical, there are weaknesses. There have to be. Nothing is infallible. Everything can break.
It's true.
Take that blue
I've-
leaf, for example.
What did you say? Sorry.
I said take the boulet, for example.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I've had a theory for some time. In regards to Lolth and the eyes scattered about, what if, and this is a big if, it's just something that Elistray said to me before I returned. She also wanted me to find Beery. And I have not mentioned it, so I was not sure I could trust anyone with this information.
You knew the kid's name?
Beery.
That's what he said, too.
She also mentioned that he was innocent and could possibly be the tool to, I believe she said, get Feyraun on our side.
Saw that
Which
coming.
leads me to believe there are greater dangers and possibly my theory is that Lolth may be using Veyraun to gather all her pieces. Perhaps she, too, wishes to be free. Which of course she would want to. And what with the Reformed Church doing what they are, I cannot imagine that even if an essence of Lolth is aware of this, she is not happy. But that is a theory. But I will not allow a child to be given to Asmodeus or this pit fiend.
If Elistray is thinking that this child could be the way to get Veyraun on our side, that could very well be true, but if that's what is going to happen, it's opening up a whole nother can. We would have the legions of Asmodeus after us if that was the case, because he's after this child too. No.
There must
That's
be.
the problem.
We kill one bird and another one flies by. It's something is going to happen regardless. Either we get Veyraun on our side and we piss off Asmodeus, or Asmodeus gets the child and we piss off Veyraun. There's no winning here.
Or well, do you think there is a way for you to contact Elistray? You are
As a
her
matter
chosen.
of fact, I spoke to Aladar and she said that there was a shrine to her beneath the castle.
Well, we need to get into the castle anyway. They have what I need, and I assume if Elandra was telling me the truth.
Then I believe that this castle is our destiny at the moment.
This is a lot of information to process. I am going to go and speak with the professor. He nods to some of the other students that are surrounding him. One or two of them follow him. Before he leaves, he hugs you, Phoenix, and says, "It's good to have you home. You know where I'll be."
I Before he leaves, I whisper to him, he might have a month at most.
He walks away with a very deep sigh and begins rubbing his temples as a couple of the students following him are confused.
I direct my attention to Sunder. The Devas will help. The Planetars, the Devas, they will help with the war against Asmodeus if he does rampage on the material plane. I mean, that is what they do. Train to fight fiends.
Well, that may
I
be
think-
true. Wouldn't you think they would have taken care of this pet fiend by now? There's no telling how long it's been here, and we haven't seen anything.
I think there are an infinite number of problems to be taken care of at one time. Same goes for us. I'd say we narrow our focus to not get overwhelmed or too far ahead of ourselves. Let's go to the castle and deal with any of these imps on the way. If we can find a lead on what Beery even looks like,
Well,
that would be an advantage.
Do you know anything, Phoenix?
I mean, could look like Veyron, could look like... And then I'll just point at Sunder.
he's got a point. I mean, if
Sunder, who are your parents?
I never knew my father!
I don't. All jokes aside, I don't know my parents. But I think Phoenix does have a point. If the child looks like me, then it'd probably be easier to find. After all, infernal blood does run very strong.
Do we know? Alistair did not tell me. Do we know how long ago he was sired? And obviously, infernal blood makes aging look a little bit different. Not Phoenix, Sunder is case in point. But
From what you know, Sunder, if anybody has infernal blood, they age much slower. So, and if you have extrapolating that out, if you have divine infernal blood, you would probably age way slower. So, you may be looking for somebody that maybe looks a tenth of how old they actually are. So, maybe 19 or 20.
If we're looking for this kid, that's probably somebody who looks a little younger than me. You're mixing two different sources. You have the blood of the Infernals and then Veyron,
okay.
the demigod.
This is still far too vague. There are many tieflings, are there not?
True, but you'll be able to tell. Especially if they are of Asmodean descent.
Argentum will just very dispassionately, but trying to bring some levity, they'll just lightly tap Ray's nose, just get to sniffing.
Zaphrael zones out.
Oh, I found the off switch. Oh no.
Just the Windows log off sound.
Yeah.
I think the biggest way to decide or decipher what this kid could look like is, again, if they are of Asmodean descent, their skin is probably as red as blood. They're all
couple of
different types of
students
tieflings, right?
Start to gather around you guys. And one or two of them pipe up and say, "We could help. We're students. We're scholars. We have a library."
Oh, I love a good library. Will you show me?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to tag along, see what information we can get.
Okay. It's in the castle, and it seemed like you guys were going to be heading there anyway, but we'll accompany you. You got
Thank you.
a short, fairly short student, maybe like 5'6". Again, they're all in like tattered robes that have been marred by combat. Some of them have visible injuries, but these two of them look like they're trying to hold everybody else together, just like how Corbin was trying to hold everybody else together. These guys look like they got a good head on their shoulders.
Let's move.
They usher you guys out of the Great Hall into the Bailey once more, and then they cautiously open the door, look around to see if there are any imps or anything, but it seems the coast is clear as you all cross the Bailey to the castle proper, and that is where we're going to call tonight.
Ooh, juice!
Juicy.
Also,
Lot
Ayo,
of
am I gonna
it.
have to fist fight Phoenix to like not hand over this baby boy? I say
Oh,
baby boy,
man.
who's like,
I'll
I
kill
love
him.
that.
I'll
Though.
kill him.
That's something I didn't think about was like, you guys wanting to differing on who to give Beery to, who you would, help. But-
Time to adopt
Yeah.
another tiefling. Let's fucking
Oh,
Listen,
my god.
I'm gonna be an
Argentum-
uncle.
fellow orphan, like not fellow orphan, but Argentum the orphan, being like, "Hey, yo, baby, get in here.
Orphan,
Let me
high
adopt
five.
all the babies.
It's been a
Orphans,
little,
high five. Let's go."
crowded in here, maybe. Let's not.
Ipswich, the worst wingman in history.
Yeah,
For
dude,
real.
I've been sitting on that forever.
Dude, I want to be so real with you, Jonah. I thought it for like a moment.
Yeah?
And I talked myself out of it. I do the fucking thing I always do, where I talk
Lamau
myself
even?
out of the obvious thing, the thing that I'm like, it could be that. And then I go, no, that
You
couldn't be the
wouldn't.
fucking thing. He went this mother, and then you fucking do it. I did this in my last campaign. I talked myself out of the fucking thing, and now I'm pissed.
Well, I'm glad that I finally got to reveal that information to you guys. I'm glad Phoenix is the one that had it, and I was worried, personally, I was worried that he would sit on it for like ever. But it was a step. He immediately came out with it, which was great. Fantastic.
I can't
Bro?
believe Ipswich said, "I made a big fucky wucky."
Yeah, exactly. I oopsied.
I made an oops.
I
It's
whoopsie
which caused
doopsie
oopsie
close to the
daisy.
hells.
I
Oh,
didn't
bro.
have the foresight.
I thought it'd be funny.
I thought it would be funny.
It was a bit.
Fucking, I
It
fucking
was
hate old
a
people,
bit.
guys.
I did it for the bit.
I fucking
It's
hate
just
old
a
people,
bit.
guys. Damn.
We can tell by you throwing a fucking knife at him.
Oh, I didn't hit
missed.
him. Come on,
Well,
guys.
close enough. You hit his headboard.
Who would want the blessing of Veyround, bro?
But
Ugh.
if you get the blessing of Veyround, you get the blessing of. Who would want the blessing of Lolth?
This material plane is fucked up.
Yeah, it
Nah,
is. It's
take
where
the
it's where
matchmaker.
chaos thrives, baby.
Bro, I'm just the moment it was revealed that fucking it was old Ippy who released little old Ippy. Nah, he don't get any respect from me.
No, not at all. He was
No,
an asshole. It was a
Old
terrible.
Ip.
He's like
Dude,
if you go back
he
and
is
watch
the
some of-
reason
he what?
why he is indirectly the reason why Argentum's fucking mind buddy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's
feeling
implicated
a
in all
lot
this
of
thing.
things.
With
the
that,
reason that our town is gone.
well, you
Uh-huh.
know, with that logic, I think we all are a little to blame then. You know, for activating.
Yeah.
Fucking
Nabu
shit
thing.
switch. I'm tired of this man.
I was also like, keep in mind. Well, you don't have to keep it in mind. I just thought it was a fun fact that like Ipswich was a dick in the campaign that I played him in. He was a player
Huh.
character. He was somebody that I actually like played. He's an asshole. The first thing he did was rip somebody's fingernails out to like interrogate them. like in the camp. This was like level
wonder who
2.
that sounds like.
Yeah.
Whoa. Who does
I'm
that
going to
sound?
release him from his prison. It'll be funny.
It'll be funny.
No, he did it for you, Phoenix. He did it for you, so you'd have a good life. He worked hard in the mines.
Killing myself.
He worked hard in the
yearns for
magic
mine.
mines.
Man, I would be so fucking depressed if my dad let out Satan or whatever from hell.
Okay, we're being a little reductive, but yes.
Oh,
He did indeed.
I'd change my name, dude. I'd disown him.
God damn.
Well, what I thought what I kind of like implied him to do is he was just like, okay, you can go over there for a little bit and then, have fun and then go back, hop right back, right? But no, he kind of like got away from him. It all got too fast.
Foolish mortals.
Exactly. Yeah. It was a foolish mortals moment. It was a warlock being tempted by a god, right? Where you're just like, oh, okay. And Ipswich is a Fey warlock, which is why he has such a relationship with Sunder. So he has no knowledge, or he had very little knowledge of how all that stuff worked. But you'll learn about that later.
He has a relationship with me? What do you
I'm sorry. No,
Paul?
Phoenix. Sorry.
I had a relationship with Sunder. I was like, I've never met this bitch in my life.
They mentioned Zach at the end of their conversation,
Yeah,
which leads me
yeah.
to believe that you're a liar.
The school of swindlers is where he studied.
I'm about to drop kick Phoenix's
Bro has a
dad.
little brother, and I made fun of his name.
Damn, I'm out here.
Good.
Better
I
do it fast.
sympathize, and I gave my name. I gave my name only for this bitch to not tell us the actual truth. This is so fucked. What a fucked up day.
What do you mean?
You're such a
You
whore.
know exactly what I mean.
You know exactly.
You know exactly what I mean.
Listen, guys,
Zachary.
Wait,
I've
hold on.
never lied, guys.
Listen here,
I've
Zachariah,
never lied
bitch.
before in my life. Oh,
I'm so
fucking
truthful.
Fucking gift, dog.
He gets Eldritch blasted.
I love you, Salcor.
Eldritch fucking blasted.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Veldecord. You guys are awesome.
We love you guys.
Okay. Question before we end and go play
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals. Does anybody have anything they want to shout out? Anything you guys are doing, seeing, participating in, creating? Anything you want to talk about right now?
Right now, not yet. But I do be streaming like basically every day except for Saturday, so that's really cool.
Real.
Let's
Come
go.
to the stream
Nice.
and chill.
True.
I'm a chill guy. Trust.
Yeah, look at him. He's still as fuck.
He's just a chill guy.
Don't die over there, goddamn.
Choking on your lies.
Joking on your own words, Magic.
Choking on your
How dare
lies.
you.
The lies that I told. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about stuff?
Not that I can, so no.
Same.
Yeah, I was
thing.
about
Yeah,
to say
same,
I got
same,
some
same.
projects that I can't talk about.
I'll
I
be
feel like that.
streaming tomorrow. Scylla streams are back. I'm a human again. I'm working on a lot of dice. I've been working on Sow dice. I've been making new dice molds. But somehow one of my master dice, or two of my master dice, got lost, and I'm blaming my cats.
Oh man.
The cat ate them.
Listen, I would not be fucking shocked. But I
Crunch.
was making more dice molds, so if you get dice from me, they'll have the Nat 19 logo on the 19 because I can't find
Sick!
my other mold. But I am getting new dice molds, and also shout out to Coda. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Coda, who's been working with me on a 3D
Yeah.
modeling project.
Ooh.
Coda is working with me on making like little miniature weapon inserts and inclusions for my dice for Nat 19. So we started with I'll post them in our Discord. Coda and I were posting them in the Salcord, but we made my characters like magic short swords. We're going to be making a bunch of other like Nat 19 weapons, so we're working on a bunch of inclusion. So shout out to Coda. Yeah, no, homie, DM me. We'll make shit happen.
Shout out to
I
Coda because
appreciate you.
they're also helping me do a thing collectively. I didn't ask them to do this, but they were just like, let's. I'm gonna fucking do this. They're making Alpha's headphones.
Dude, that's
Alpha's
sick.
headphones, which I thought were super cool. I can't wait to see those come to fruition. But yeah, you're
Poggers.
very skilled, fantastic work.
Shout out to Coda
You're
for just
amazing.
being fucking dope.
Shout out to Coda for
Love
being
that.
cool. Okay,
Yippee.
and Phoenix's gun. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay,
that shit's
let's
sick.
go. All right. Anything else
love
anybody want to hype up before we call it a night?
I'm
Nar.
not doing shit, dude.
I'm gonna be the best
Okay.
Iron
Not
Man
doing
player in
shit,
Marvel
man.
Rivals. I swear to God.
I am. Let's see. What am I doing? I mean, the graphic novel is in production phase, so we are just waiting on art. If you want to look at it or see it before it is done, subscribe to our Patreon. And yeah, we're gonna put out our boyfriend CDs on YouTube so that they're out for the public to see. We've
Yippee.
waited for our 8-month cycle has gone through, and if you didn't get to see them on Patreon, you'll get to hear them on YouTube, and you'll get to hear them all in about 4 months because that's how the upload schedule is gonna be. But,
Right.
all right. We are gonna go raid a new VTuber friend that I made the other day when I was very drunk. Their name is Sadlights. They're fantastic. Please go say hi to them. But until next Friday, let's just say goodnight, everybody.
Good
Good night,
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
everybody.